right, welcome everybody. Father, Son, and Holy Sport here with you. Our weekly NFL show. It's G-Man and T-Money here, coming to you live. NFL Week 8, bringing you entertaining father-son take on what you need to know about the upcoming NFL week, everybody. No teams on a bye this week. All you fantasy people, you're going to be happy out there. We've got a loaded 16-game slate for you, though, so let's get to it. T-Money. Hey, Thursday night, we got a key matchup in the NFC. The Rams, a bubble-desperate team, up against the Vikings, a team in contention to win the NFC. It's a duel between two old friends, T-Money, Kevin O'Connell and his old boss, Sean McVay.
Yeah, it'll be a good one, man. Exciting. Love me a Thursday night game. Yeah, can't wait.
Yeah, NFC, got Detroit and Minnesota out in front in the NFC, and behind them is a complete mess of what's going to happen. But one of those teams could be the Eagles, man. I told you last week, this guy behind me, Saquon, I said, baby boy, Saquon, bring it to me against the Giants. And the baby boy, Saquon, 176 yards, second highest rushing yards in his career. Saquon brought it, and all of a sudden, T-Money, the Eagles might be in the hunt here in the NFC, and they take on the Bengals in Week 8, which is one of our big games of this weekend.
Yeah.
Is Philly against those Bengals. How you feeling down there in Cincinnati about that game?
I'm just a week to week right now, Gary. I'm not thinking I'm day to day, kind of like an injured player. I'm day to day. Let's just get to the game, play solid. I'm not feeling good. I'm not feeling great. I'm not feeling bad. We've beaten some crappy teams the past few weeks, so it's not like we played anyone great. So this will be a test, and we need it. We got to keep stacking wins here.
Well, T-Money's got a little bit of an edge to him because G-Man beat him in the fantasy league game. We told you all about that last week, and G-Man and T-Money, the 1-2 seeds right now, going up against each other. G-Man comes out. T-Money's in a bad mood today, everybody. Watch out. Hey, Joe Burrow, touchdown interception ratio. He's second in the NFL, 14 touchdowns to 2 interceptions, T-Money. You know who's number one?
Josh Allen.
You're right.
12 touchdowns.
12 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. You're right. But hey, Philly, great move there. Saquon and team dismantling the Giants, and Giants coach Brian Daboll confirms that Daniel Jones is the starting cornerback for the Giants going forward, but he was benched, T-Money. What do you think? Should the Giants bench Daniel Jones?
Yeah, 100%. No guaranteed money left on that contract. I think this is a Monday night game, if I'm not mistaken. So it's a standalone NFL game. Everyone's going to be watching how bad Daniel Jones is at football. And ownership just might make a move on. This is going to be, you're playing versus Pittsburgh. They got a hell of a defense. Daniel Jones right now is 25th in the league in QBR, and that's not great when he's surrounded by Anthony Richardson, who hasn't learned to throw a football yet, Gardner Minshew, who's already been benched, Will Levis, who's already been benched, and Deshaun Watson, who is historically the worst quarterback ever. So that's the company that Daniel Jones is in right now for starting quarterbacks in the NFL. This guy's got to be benched. You got to move forward. Got to draft someone this offseason. New York needs a reset. I don't know why they ever gave this guy the money. I'm sure they missed Saquon, who they could have given a quarter of the money to and been way happier, and just franchise tag Daniel Jones for the same cost. But yeah, this is a bad Giants decision to ever sign Daniel Jones. So they need to bench him immediately, bring along the tankathon, and go get that number 1 pick.
Yeah, well, we got Drew Lock there. We got some playing time last game, but behind Drew Lock is one of the famous local guys, Tommy DeVito, the third-string quarterback. Could we see Tommy again? What's that money sign he gives? Give me the money or whatever. Yeah. Tommy DeVito, man. We want to see him.
Yeah. That would be funny. Love it.
Yeah, you're right. Monday Night Football. They're at Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh favored in that one. And, man, that could get ugly. I don't know. But let's talk about that NFC still. And we talked about the Eagles and a little mini run they're on right now, but one team going in the opposite direction is the 49ers, now ranked 11th. In other words, if the playoffs were to happen today, they would not make the playoffs, Team Money. So are you panicking about this team? What's your view on the 49ers?
I think this is a huge game. I think this is a massive game here for the Niners. The Cowboys, we as a whole kind of don't think are great. And after this, they go into the bye. So it'd be great to get a win, go into the bye. And then you play the Bucks, who are terribly injured right now. But they need to win here. You go down 3-5 through 8 weeks, you're really going to be struggling to even make the playoffs. And their schedule is not great going forward. Cowboys, Bucks, those are solid teams, but they haven't looked any worse or better than the Niners have, and the Bucks have looked better. The Seahawks, Packers, Bills, Bears, Rams, they get a break, but that's a division game. They always play them strong. Dolphins back with Tua, the Lions, and then the Cardinals who have already beaten them. There's not a bad gimme game there. You don't play the Panthers. You don't play the Giants. All right? You don't play the Patriots in any of your games left. The easiest game you got is a divisional game versus the Rams. Divisional games are never easy. And playing Sean McVay is never easy as long as that team's healthy. So this is a huge game for them because this could get ugly quick. They could miss the playoffs. I know it's shocking, but now with Brandon Ayuk out for the year, Debo potentially out a few weeks, McCaffrey may never play football again. I don't know when the guy's coming back. There's not the team that everyone thought. And again, the defense hasn't been what it's been in the past. This is scary moments for these guys going into the bye. And the Cowboys are coming off a bye. So they're even more rested. They're even more ready for this game. And they understand it's important to the Cowboys too. So this is a big one, G-Man. I am worried about the Niners, especially if they lose this game to the Cowboys.
Well, you went on quite a roll there. You've covered all my points. I have nothing else to add. You're really you are fired up today, man. Wow. Yeah, I agree with all your points there, man. A couple things I would say in addition. The last couple of games, they've been throwing the ball a lot and not getting the running game going. This team, when they get Jordan Mason going a few games ago, he was running. They're going off of play action. They only ran 5 play action passes the last game. They need to be getting the run going with Jordan Mason. CMC is supposed to come back week 10, I heard. We'll see. But either way, get those guys running and then do the play action. I think that's one thing they have to establish in this next game. Debo will be back, but they have had crazy injuries. But these guys are going to heal up. I'm not panicking because I know Debo's coming back. They still have Georgie. Georgie's amazing. Tight end, he's TE1 rest of the year. They're going to throw to George more than they ever have.
Yeah.
So George and Debo, CMC comes back. You know he can catch the ball and run the ball. They're going to be in good shape once they get these guys healthy. I'm not panicking about them.
All right. This is a big game, though, G. This game,
Big game.
like I'm saying, they lose this game, it is panic time.
Yeah.
Well, you're 3-5, and so it's a tough hole to dig yourself out of. That's why I'm saying this could get bad quick.
Well, the team that loses is going to be panicking. I mean, Dallas is right there with them.
I agree.
Both teams are desperate.
Yeah.
Dallas has their own troubles.
I agree.
But the Cowboy defense should be stronger. They got the heck kicked out of them in their game before, but they got supposedly Micah Parsons back, linebacker Eric Kendricks, cornerback Bland. They're all back, trending toward playing, and that they could really use those guys. Let's stay in that NFC. NFC, a lot of exciting things here. That NFC North team, money, looks like the best division in football right now with the Lions and the Vikings and the Packers and the Bears. Sounds like the Wizard of Oz, you know. But all 4 of those teams, Team Money, would make the playoffs if they started today. Is that a crazy thing? And Detroit's right at the top. Is Detroit the best team in football?
Oh, man, they certainly have a case for it. And they're playing great football right now. I just think let's take a quick step back. Like, they beat the Rams, the Cardinals, the Seahawks, who everyone's beating and doesn't have a good defense, the Cowboys, who don't look great. Now they beat the Vikings, but was anyone like this team's the best team in the NFL? No. And then they lost to the Buccaneers. So I really like what this team can do. Offensively, their offensive play caller, Ben Johnson, is fun. He's innovative. He's really sharp. And they can beat you passing the ball. They can beat you running the ball. They can do it a lot of different ways with two dynamic running backs, a stretch receiver, a slot receiver, a good tight end, the best O-line in football. I love what their offense can do. But there is cases of Jared Goff crumbling when you can apply pressure. And not only that, their defense hasn't really faced a crazy elite offense either. So neither side has played a great team yet. And their defense lost Aiden Hutchinson, who was leading the league in sacks. I think that this team is one of the best teams in the NFL. But would I take the Chiefs or the Ravens over them today? Yeah, I would. I think that the NFC is kind of open right now, and they might be the best team in the NFC. I'll give you that. I won't argue it. But they haven't played some of these elite defenses like Pittsburgh. They haven't played some of these elite offensive like the Ravens. So I think before we crown them the best team in the NFL, let's let them get to play the Packers, who seem to have a great offense. Let's let them get to play the Bills, all right, who have Josh Allen. The Niners later in the year will be a big game. Like, let's see some of these more big-time games instead of beating the overrated Cowboys and the terrible Seattle Seahawks defenses. So, like, that's my concern. You beat the Cardinals and you scored 20 points. Let's take a step back.
Yeah, one of the better teams. Yes, offensively. Yeah, I agree with you. Offense, definitely. Rank them right up there. Defense? No, not so good. Yeah. Not so good. Not going to put your defense up there yet. But they did do it on offense. Detroit went into Minnesota last week, faced Brian Flores' vaunted defense, and they solved the riddle. Put up 31 points on them. And Jared Goff, the last couple games, has handled pressure. I know historically he hasn't done that. But the last couple games, and I think that Ben Johnson, as the OC, is really helping him. He's completing 85% of his passes over the last two games with all that pressure coming from Flores and all the disguised blitzes. 7 touchdowns, no interceptions. And as you said, all those weapons all around him, racking up yards and scoring. This is a heck of an offense. Tennessee Titans coming into town to face the Lions. Lions favor big here in this one, T-Money, Sunday at 1 o'clock. So staying in that NFC North behind Detroit and Minnesota is Green Bay. Green Bay's 5-2. They have won 3 in a row. They beat the Texans. So there's another good team right in there. Can the Green Bay T-Money make the Super Bowl?
Yeah. I like this team right now. I would actually be really scared to face this team. And here's the thing. I know that they're going to play Minnesota and Detroit, and they're probably going to lose once or twice. But this team and Jordan Love is not only going to face those teams 2 times this year, but he's played them in the past. So in the playoffs, when he's going to Detroit or going to Minnesota, because, they're probably not going to have the 1 seed, they're going to feel comfortable. More than any other team, these guys are going to be like, yeah, we play the Lions twice a year. It's our 3rd time. We play the Vikings twice a year. It's our 3rd time. Like, they're used to playing on the road versus these guys. You take the Commanders, who are in 2nd, to go to Detroit. They don't play at all. And that's going to be a daunting game. But the Packers don't care. And Jordan Love seems to not care where the ball goes. That guy is a gunslinger. He's hilarious to watch play because you never know where the ball's going, but it's exhilarating. And the defense for them has been playing well. They, beat the Texans
very well.
They beat the Texans, who are a really good team, and really the defense stopped them. There was the turnovers and fumbles that were giving the Texans offense a muffed punt, gave them the ball at the 9-yard line. Like, the defense really did shut down that Texans offense. And then the Cardinals, they kept to 13. The Rams, they kept to 19. Like, the Titans, 14. The Colts, 10. Like, this team defense has been playing pretty damn well now. And that Vikings loss that they have, 31-29, that's a coin flip game, just like the Lions-Vikings game was. So I really
Exactly.
like the way this team is trending. They got weapons everywhere. And I think when you get in the playoffs, they're not going to care that they're not the 1 seed or 2 seed and have a home advantage. They're used to playing all these NFC teams on the road. So I would not want to play the Packers in the playoffs. That's all I got to say, G. This team is
Yeah.
dangerous for sure.
Yeah, I agree. And if you look at those four teams in that NFC North Division, those four teams all have four of the top defenses. I mean,
Yeah.
the Lions defense, Minnesota's got a great defense. You got the Green Bay defense that's excellent, and the Bears. What a
Might have the
great
best.
combination of defenses in that
Yeah.
NFC North, man. And Sunday at 1 p.m., Green Bay, enjoy the weather. Go
Yeah.
down to Jacksonville and relax in the sun. Have a good game. You're going to crush Jacksonville, I think. But Green Bay, enjoy that warm weather because you know what's coming soon? November, Lambeau, cold weather, Green Bay. Enjoy the sun this weekend, everybody. Hey, thanks to our show sponsor, Blue Tees Golf. Go to blueteesgolf.com. Find affordable, high-quality golf products. Help you pick up your golf game, everybody. Enter code FSHS. Get a 10% discount on your full order. And do us a favor, press that like and subscribe button. Help us continue to bring you the fun here from Father Son Sports Team Money. We are going to do some bets, baby. We're going to give you our lock of the week, and then we're going to give you our dog lock, a dog that we think could win the game. So let's start off with Team Money. Who you got for your lock pick of the week?
All right. Well, I just gave a big rant about the Packers. So how about we stay with them? And I'll take the Packers -4.5 versus the Jaguars. All right. I know, you're playing at Jacksonville here, but Jacksonville's coming back from 2 long weeks in London. They aren't playing that great. I know the offense looked good versus the Patriots, but before that, they lost to the Bears. So when they play a really solid defense from the NFC North, what happens? They lose. All right. I don't trust this Jacksonville coaching staff. I don't trust the team. Trevor Lawrence has not been playing like himself this year. I know they kind of had a get right game versus the Patriots, but everyone has get right games versus the Patriots. And then you stink the next week. Just ask the Jets how that worked out. All right. So I like the Packers here getting points. I think if Jordan Love can control his turnovers, this could turn into a blowout here because I don't think the Jags got the firepower or the coaching ability to stick with him.
Well, I hate to tell you, Team Money, I got that same pick, man. I like Green Bay here. I like Green Bay to roll here. Jacksonville just not impressive. They rank dead last against the pass by DVOA, the adjusted defensive metric. They're not going to play well against the pass, and we know Love is going to throw the ball down the field. I think they're going to take it to him here, man. I don't think 5's enough. I'm with you, man. I'm with you on this, but I'll give you a bonus pick just because we picked the same for all our fans out there. I'm going first half under. There's something for you. For the Cards traveling to Miami, Arizona traveling to Miami, their offense looked really, the running game's awesome. But they're slow moving down the field. They're not throwing it down the field. I think the Cards are a low scoring team right now. They're going to Miami on short rest, playing this Thursday. And so I'd like this low scoring game. Miami starting off slow. The Cards traveling to Miami. This one gets off to a slow start. We're going under on that first half in that Cards game. I will give you that number in a second. I'll give you that number in a second. It's actually a Sunday 1:00 game. Okay. And first half is right now 23 points. Let's go under on that for my lock pick of the week also.
Okay. I like it, G-Man. Well, let's go to my dog lock of the week. And I like Seattle here. The Seattle Seahawks versus the Buffalo Bills. They're getting 3.5 points, so you get the hook there to keep it close. I know the Bills like to kill people. The Buffalo Bills, you look up and all of a sudden, they're winning by 30 like they always do. All right. But the Seahawks can score, man. Geno has been, I believe, leading the league in passing yards right now. All right. So Geno Smith, not Josh Allen, not Patrick Mahomes, not Joe Burrow. No, Geno Smith is leading these guys right now. And The last game they played the Titans. Let's pump the brakes on the Titans here, okay? That's not a great offense. The Jets, not a great offense. The last two good offenses they played in the Texans and the Ravens, they lost. So, yes, they might be beating people, but they're beating bad offenses. And this is not a bad offense. And so I think this could turn into a shootout where Seattle somehow comes out off with this win because they're at home. Buffalo's traveling across the entire country, and they have one of the best passing games in the NFL. So don't be shocked they win this one, and I bet they can keep it close. Give me 3.5 Seahawks.
Okay, you got 3.5. All right, we got you. Hey, I'm gonna go to that Colts Houston game. Big game here, man, in this AFC division here, because the Texans aren't first, but the Colts are right behind them. It's a big game here. The Colts could tie for the division lead. They need this. They've covered T-Money. They're favored. Houston is by 5.5. Do you know the Colts have covered 6.5 in all 7 games this season? The Colts are 5-2 against the spread this year. The Texans are 1-6. The Texans beat the Colts in week 1, but they only did it by 2 points. There's no reason for this line to be at 5.5. I saw this morning. The Texans haven't swept the season series since 2016, so it's very hard to sweep, and I just don't see them winning by that much. It might be a field goal at the end if they do. And so I'm going Colts here, plus 5.5. Let's see where it's at this morning. I've got Colts. What do you got on your? I've got 5.5 right now. It was 6.5. Let's go to 5.5. I'll still take them.
The Colts. All right. Okay. Well, let's move on to everyone's favorite betting segment, and that's G-Man's player prop of the week. We got G-Man. We got for us.
Well, we were 3-2 last week in the player prop. So, hey, got your winning number there, 3-2. And so let's give you 5 more this time. I got 5 more for you this time. Looking at that Ravens game. Looking at the Ravens game, man. I like the Ravens Sunday at 1 o'clock here to roll on offense. I got Lamar over 232 passing yards. Do you know the last 3 games he's thrown for over 280? Over 280. And his prop's at 232. You hire me to go find the best prop, don't you? I go out and I look at them all. This is the one on Lamar. Over 232. Come on. Hey, you know I'm going to give you Derrick Henry anytime touchdown. I gave it to you the last few weeks. I'm giving it to you again. Derrick Henry anytime touchdown. He's done it 7 out of 7 games. Why not one more time? Let's then go to Detroit, Sunday at 1 o'clock game. We got Detroit. I'm going Gibbs. Gibbs, what's his best prop? I'm going to tell you. Rushing attempts. Yes, they're giving him the ball more, T-Money. As a runner, you think he's the pass catcher, and he is, but they've been giving him the ball more running. And so 6 out of 6 games, he's rushed more than 10 times. And I'm saying bet over on that prop. Over 10. He'll do it again. And that G-Man's rhyming. Did you see G-Man rhyme right there? Jeez, this is unbelievable. So let's go to Green Bay. T-Money talked about Jordan Love, and the best prop for him right now, he's done 5 out of 5 games. Over 1.5 touchdowns. He's beat it 5 times in a row. He'll throw at least 2 touchdowns, Jordan Love. And my last prop is in that Buffalo game, the new shiny toy for Buffalo, Amari Cooper. What's the best prop? Over 2.5 receptions. Over 2.5. He's had 4 or more 5 games in a row. There you go. G-Man's player props for you, baby.
All right. I like it, G.
Okay. Hey, let's go to fantasy, man. Let's help these fantasy managers out. Get ready. They're in the middle of the season. How you guys doing out there in your fantasy leagues? And G-Man's going to give you some tips. T-Money's going to give you some tips. We're 1-2 in our league, so why not have us give you the tips? Remember, there's no buys this week, and so don't worry about that. And so, T-Money, a little stat for you I found researching, getting ready for this top-notch podcast. Hey, a lot of wide receivers going down this year, T-Money. In the draft, a lot of players in the draft focus on wide receivers. This because the running backs typically, a lot of them get injured and they don't have the bell cow running backs anymore. But T-Money, it's been the running backs this year entering week 8 that have been healthy. 19 healthy running backs are averaging 13 or more fantasy points per game. Do you know how many wide receivers are averaging 13 or more fantasy points per game?
Oh, less than that, I'm assuming.
Eight wide receivers, only eight.
Wow, that's crazy.
And even the top wide receivers are down. Look at Amonra versus last year. Look at Chase versus last year, A.J. Brown. All these guys have not scored the points that they have. So the running back, could that be next year's draft team money when we all do the fantasy drafts next year? Could the running back become the more of the focus? This could change things as we look toward next year.
For
so,
sure.
hey, all right, man. Let's go to some of our games here. Hot and cold, take or mistake, and our daily fantasy lineup, DFS. Starting off with hot and cold team money. I'm going to give you my hot picks, the stardoms, people you want to start in your lineup on the bubble. Which one should you start? Team money giving you the cold starters. Don't start them. They're going to break your heart. You better sit them. Hey, all right. At running back this week, I'm going Jordan Mason for the 49ers. I told you they got to get the running game going. That's what I think they're going to do. You know, the last 3 games in a row now, he's had less than 10 fantasy points. Fantasy managers probably wondering, what should I do here? Start him. They're going to run him, man. He's ready to go. CMC is not back for a couple weeks. Jordan Mason is going to want to put his mark on this thing. Look for the 49ers to establish the run against Dallas and get back to that winning formula. Mason is expensive on DraftKings DFS. I did not want to spend that much for him, but he is a starter. Get him going.
All right. Well, here's my cold running back of the week, and that's Ramondre Stevenson. All right, Ramondre Stevenson projected 12.6 versus the Jets. Here's the thing with him. He is not getting the touches anymore. He hasn't had over 13 carries since week 2. I mean, if you're looking for, flex options or running back 1 or 2 options, you need touches. And JaMychal Hasty looked really good as well last week as a pass catcher, so he's eating into his pass catching opportunities now as well. And Drake May has really opened up this offense to where they're not as running back heavy. This guy's only had 1 game over 8 points in his last 4 games that he's played. So Ramondre Stevenson, I would be very nervous to start here. Now, look, he could get the goal line work. He could score 13. I could see it. But right now, I don't want to touch Ramondre until I see him play well with Drake May more in this new offense. So he's my cold running back of the week.
Yeah, good call there. And they're not giving him touches near the end zone either.
Yeah.
He's not getting the end zone touches. And I tell you what, Team Money, if JaMychal Hasty is beating me, I better just hang my cleats up and go home. Let's go to wide receiver. Wide receiver start is Josh Allen's. I called him the new shiny toy for Josh Allen. Amari Cooper's your start this week. He's recorded 4 receptions on 5 targets for 66 yards with his new man, Josh Allen. He isn't likely to see the volume he got at Cleveland. They were thrown to him, but they weren't good throws. The target, some of the balls uncatchable. His efficiency will tick up, but he won't have the volume here with this Buffalo offense. So he'll take advantage of it. I think he's going to get the end zone throws. He got one last week from Josh Allen. His DraftKings price is excellent. So get him in your DFS lineup, $6,000 on DraftKings. So the Buffalo Bills, Amari Cooper, my start and wide receiver pick of the week.
Okay, I like hearing that. My cold wide receiver of the week, I don't know if you can sit this guy. I don't know if you got the balls to, but I'm benching Marvin Harrison Jr. right now. All right?
Yeah. What the heck?
I know this guy's an elite talent. I know he can deliver. They're just not throwing him the ball. He's projected for 13 right now versus Miami, who have really good defensive backs, actually. They just haven't been able to be in a good game because Tua's been gone. All right? He has no games over 5.6 points in the last 3 weeks. And even before that, his targets weren't there. He had 2 solid games where he was like 15 and 17 points, and that was due to touchdowns. So really the volume hasn't been there. I can see this game turning into a shootout, but Gary already likes the under in the beginning of this. Both Tua not being ready to go and being rusty. Cardinals traveling all the way across the country. He's just not getting wide receiver 1 targets right now. He has no games over 7 targets since week 3. Kyler Murray is not hurt. All right. This guy hasn't had over 7 targets since week 3. So the wide receiver one volume that we thought he'd get isn't there. It's not his ability. It's just that they don't want to target him. And so that's where my concern is right now. If I'm getting 3 to 5 targets, I mean, this guy, Khalil Shakir right now, like that's what he looks like. So I'd be scared to start him until I see the Cardinals give him more targets. So yeah, he's my cold wide receiver of the week right now.
I understand why you picked him. I would still start him, but I know what you're saying, man.
You got the balls to bench him? I don't know, because he could go off. Think so. I get it, but
he could. He's
trending in that direction.
That one game, he looked so awesome, but he don't look good in that one game. And Kyler Murray's the attitude problem for Marvin Harrison. What's Kyler Murray's attitude against Marvy? He's got an issue with Marvy for some reason. I don't know why he's on Marvy. The former Buckeye standout is a superstar. They got him in the top of the draft for a reason. Yeah. And they're not throwing him the ball. Kyler, throw him the ball, man. Yeah. Kyler Murray's saying earlier this season, it's not my job to get him the ball. Well, whose job is it, Kyler? Whose job is it to get him the ball?
I guess I hit a note with this one. Yeah.
This is ridiculous, man. Ridiculous.
Let's coming to his Ohio State receiver's back here. He's got his back.
Let's play a little take or mistake here, man. I pick a player that had a big week last week. T-Money tells me whether we should take the bait or would that be a mistake. And T-Money, I'm going to ask you about QB3 in the NFL last week, Russell Wilson. Yes, he was third in the NFL last week. He passed for 264 yards, 2 touchdowns, added 3 rushes, another touchdown on the ground. They win 37-15 over the Jets' vaunted defense, 37 points. Wilson is the starter moving forward now, supposedly. You know, they still kind of playing for the press. But T-Money, are you buying what Russ is cooking in Pittsburgh? Is he a take for you in week 8? At home against the Giants defense, or would that be a mistake?
Look, the Giants aren't that great, so he could end up cooking. I could see this getting away from the Giants so quickly that the Steelers don't need to throw. So, you know, his numbers might not be there, even though he plays well. Look, this is a great bye-week quarterback, and I'm not a Russell Wilson fan, but before he was benched the last 2 games of the year, last year, he was quarterback 9. Just think about that. So the guy can put up fantasy football points, especially with his running ability. Like he showed, he got a touchdown on the ground as well. That helped him move from 18 points to 24 points. So that's really what scales for him. So, you know, right now, would I rather have Russell Wilson or Kirk Cousins or Aaron Rodgers? I don't think I would take Russell Wilson over those guys yet. But you want to put that guy on your bench, you want to start him when you got a guy on the bye, I would totally take that. I like to see it before I commit to it. But I think that this is a viable starter if one of your, quarterbacks is out on a bye or goes down, or if you have room on your bench to stash him, he might end up being a viable option.
Okay. Hey, good answer there, T-Money. I'm with you there. Hey, let's go to our DFS lineup, kind of wrap this show up, wrap up all of our discussions here with a little DFS lineup. Who should you start in daily fantasy? And I'm going to go with that Green Bay team that you and I both like to cover against Jacksonville. I'm starting Jordan Love at the quarterback. Cost me $7,100, my highest paid player on my DFS team. And Josh Jacobs, running back for Green Bay, $6,600. Good value there for Jacobs. At the other running back, Minnesota's Aaron Jones, just lighting it up, averaging 17 fantasy points a game. You got him for $6,600. Keep in mind, Aaron Jones is questionable, but I think he's going to play. And then we'll go to that Pittsburgh game. I'm going to pick up George Pickens in that game. He seems to be a favorite out there for Russ. $6,300 for George. Amari's only $6,000. And I picked up Darnell Mooney as the other one, only $5,800 to kind of fill out the wide receivers. Hey, why not a little Disley from the Chargers? You saw Disley going crazy. Let's take a flyer on him for $3,000 at the tight end and wrap it up with the 49ers defense. And there's our DFS lineup for the week.
All right. All right. Sounds strong, G. I like it.
Let's see what we can do in some of those competitions. Hey, that's it for today's show. Get ready for NFL Week 8, everybody. Thursday night, we got that NFC matchup. Get ready for the student and his teacher going at it with the Rams and the Vikings. And don't forget about Sunday morning. No more London games, man. So you got the 1 o'clock start. Father Son loves bringing the NFL energy. We hope you had fun hanging out with us. On behalf of Team Money, I'm G-Man. Enjoy the games.